Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Got a question for you. Do you believe in soulmates? Do you believe that there's one person out there that you are destined to be with? And if you don't find him or her, you'll never have the love that you really want. Well, see, the other day I was having a conversation with one of the members of our community, and she was saying, Joe, you just don't get it. And I'm like, okay, cool. What don't I get? Tell me what I don't get. She's like, you don't understand. He's my soulmate. And I said, great. Tell me what a soulmate is. And she's like, that one person that you're destined to be with. And I'm like, and what happens if you don't find that person or it doesn't work out with that person? She's like, well, then you'll never have the love that you're really meant to have. And I'm like, okay, cool. So what I did is I shared a little experience, my experience. See, my dad died when I was 15. And based on what I saw in those 15 years, my parents had a pretty decent relationship. They loved each other. They were there for each other. They worked pretty well together. And then he passed away. And then for a couple of years, my mom was single. And ultimately, she met another really good man. And she developed a relationship with him. And she married him. And she's now been with him 26 going on 27 years. So if you kind of look at the definition of soulmate, that kind of blows it out of the water. Because if my dad was her soulmate, then she would have never met somebody else, and she would have been destined to be alone or not having another truly happy, fulfilling relationship. I have a great relationship with my mom. We talk about this all the time, and she says, they're just two wonderful experiences of love. So I don't believe that there's a soulmate as far as there's the one, and you have to make it work with the one. I believe there can be more than one because based on my experience and my mom's experience, it's been proven. I know there's been experiences in my life where I've felt tremendous love for someone, and for whatever reason, that relationship fell apart. And now I'm in another relationship where I love someone tremendously, and I hope that we get to share our days forever. But if my wife wasn't there tomorrow, I would pick up and I would ultimately move on. It doesn't mean that I would dishonor her, and I'm sure she would want that for me, just like if I wasn't here, I would want that for her. So, we've got to really look at things, because sometimes we believe things that are somebody else's beliefs, and we don't get to decide for ourselves, and we live our lives as if these things are true. So, searching for a soulmate is like searching for a needle in the haystack. I've got to find the one. And I know I'll find I always hear, I got to find the one. I'm like, well, how are you going to know? Well, I'll just know. I'm like, yeah, but what's your proof? How are you going to know? I'll just know. And I get that, there's something in us that guides us, that leads us, your intuition, your gut, your inner spirit, whatever you want to call it. I believe that's there to help you find that love that you really want. But very often when we get real, that knowing is simply the excitement. It's the chemistry. It's the attraction, which is wonderful. That's exactly happened with this woman I was talking to. She's like, we have such amazing chemistry. And I'm like, is that before or after he's making your life miserable? Because the challenge for her is that this guy had walked away. He didn't want to be in a relationship with her anymore for whatever his reasons were. And she wanted desperately to get him back. And that didn't make sense to me, because in my world, love is being with someone who wants to be with you because they love you and they think you're the best thing in their life. And again, I'm not here to tell you what your definition of love or your definition of a soulmate should be. It's simply your beliefs and your ways working for you. Great, keep doing it. If not, take some mirror time, get real with yourself and say, what works for me? What do I believe? What's going to help me in going forward? Is it that there's only one person and there's this pressure that I got to meet them? Or what? There's some great guys out there or great women out there, and I simply have to find the right one for me, the one that gives me all the important things that I need in order for me to have a happy and fulfilling relationship. Because I've seen it not only with my own life, but those that I mentor. It's that it's not about finding the one. Like, you got to put this pressure and you got to go in the first. Well, are you the one? Let me see. No, not at all. Just sit back. Go, hey, you know what? I'm a great person. I've got so much to offer. And I'm looking for that special person who's going to love and appreciate me and acknowledge me and see that I'm the best thing for them. My wife is the perfect woman for me. Okay? Trust me. The God couldn't have designed someone better for me. And I know that, some of my friends would never, she would be horrible for them and they would be horrible for her. And I'd be horrible for some of my friends' wives. So this isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about finding the perfect person for you and vice versa. And all you got to do is just show up and be the best you can be. And when you live and operate from that place, you will find your soulmate. So love to hear from you. What's your experience? Again, do you believe in soulmates? Do you believe that you have to make it work with one person, and if it doesn't, you'll never find or have love again? Or are you single and you feel, I've got to find that one. I'm looking for my soulmate. Because see, what I believe is that in one way or another, we're all soulmates. We all come from somewhere else, because it can't be about this thing, that this human experience. There's got to be something more than this, right? So I believe that there's reasons why things happen, and there's reasons why you're at where you're at. But I think things, in order for you to get where you want to go, you've got to take some mirror time. You got to really look at things, such as your beliefs, such as your actions, the ones you're taking or the ones that you're not taking. And they're either leading you closer to the result you want, or they're not. And if they're not, you simply have to sit back, not blame, don't point fingers, and see, what do you need to learn? What do you need to do differently to create that relationship, that love that you really desire and deserve? So go ahead, put your comments, questions, and feedback in the boxes below. Love hearing from you. I'll see you next time. Much love.